Hi, it's Dave here from Elysium Sophia. And how are you on this middle of the week, mate? Middle of the week Wednesday. Middle of the week of the third week of Uncle Bojo's lockdown here in the UK. Hoping for some better news because it's all doom and gloom, isn't it? But thought we'd bring a bit of try and bring a ray of sunshine back into everyone's lives here at Elysium Sophia. Chatting today about whatever you like to chat about maybe about the vaccine, maybe about COVID, maybe enjoy our session when we talk about our trip down memory lane, about how things used to be or how things could be. But of course, we are Elysium Sophia. We are primarily, if you've not joined us before, a therapy business. We specialise in hypnotherapy, hypnosis, mindfulness meditation, and personal training in mind and body training. And if you are joining us for the first time, we say hi and welcome to our home here at Elysium Sophia. It's basically personal training, but for mind and body. Because as you can see, we're Thai boxers, we're kickboxers. Body and mind means a lot to us. Elysium meaning wholeness, and Sophia, named after my own very precious and very, very, very wonderful daughter, who's the Sophia behind the camera, aka Penny the Panda, who's very live on the stream too. Obviously, we want to say hi to all our friends that are joining us from across the water, especially our friends from the Philippines, because we have now evolved over the last 4 or 5 months now, as well as doing what we usually do. We've evolved our show into a massive chat show, where we invite you in a mindful way to come and chat and get things off your chest. It's great, it's what Jonathan Ross does, but in a mindful way. Sort of, what we talk about is anything you want to talk about, and it can be anything. As I said earlier, it can be COVID, it can be the inauguration ceremony at the moment for our friends across the pond in America. So just bringing it back again. If you're joining us, our friends from the Philippines that join us every time, from all over the world, Philippines working in the Philippines, and Filipinos working out in Dubai, we say hi to you. Qatar, Chaka Kong, Qatar, Bahrain, the United Emirates, and across the Middle East and Saudi Arabia. We say hi to you. How are you? You might be Philippines living in our beautiful second home. We had the other day our great friend there working in our wonderful second home of Cyprus, working out there doing caring work in the community in Cyprus. We say hi. You might be joining us, as we said before, from across the pond in America. Lots of friends across there in America, in Canada, from the USA, California. We say hi, how are you, and how's things going with your inauguration today? Boring Joe Biden. Here he comes. Let's see if he can turn a little different shade of grey, because we are going to miss Donald Trump. Yet we make no secret here that we love Donald Trump, and we're going to miss him, because there's never a dull moment when Donnie's around. But of course, he's not going to the party, is he? I'm not going to the party. I don't care if they're doing jelly and ice cream, blancmange, I don't care. I don't like him, I'm not going. He's not going to go. He's not coming to the party at all. Joe Biden, good luck, mate. To us, you're a little bit grey. But obviously, I'm sure you're a nice guy, and we'd like to know more about Joe Biden. Because I'm sure all those flags you've got out today, hey, instead of people, you've got flags because of COVID. But a good idea. Looks good for TV, doesn't it? If you're looking forward to watching that in the US, tell us about it, because we have lots of friends across there, across the pond in America. And of course, we have friends here in the UK that join us, that some of them know Sophia personally. You might be Jack. Hi Jack, if you're there. You might be Kalal, who joined us again with Jack yesterday. You might be Millie, you might be Ava. And of course, you might be Harry, banging your drum like a dum-dee-dee-day for us, or Ethan, I don't know. If you're joining us, come and say hi. Jack, you're still Jack, and Harry, you changed your name to Cheesecake or something, didn't you? Cheese or something, cheesecake, or I can't remember. It's something to do with cheese anyway, but you're welcome to join us today if you'd like to. Of course, we say hi to our friends also across Europe. The final countdown, ba-da-da-da, ba-da-ba-ba-ba. We're joined by our friend Ryan today as well, but... in the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. A wimble, a wimble, a wimble. We just need a little Marcel, don't we? The little monkey. Give me a get that one. Talking about little monkeys, we've been to Meadowhall today. Seen that little monkey? Essential shop. We've seen her today. It's essential. It's essential. Shall paracetamol. Shall paracetamol. She was there today at Meadowhall, causing bother and kicking off. It's a shopping centre near where we are. And of course, Stinky was there, running round. Zoomer, or Stinky, whatever you want to call him. All these little characters are coming out during lockdown. It's really funny because you can see them now. I think they were all there before in this massive shopping centre, but because it's kind of like wah, 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 wah. Not doing that, obviously. It's like a scene from a spaghetti western. Quite quiet at Meadowhall Shopping Centre at the moment. So these people that before were obviously going about their business, and you didn't notice them because there were hundreds of other people around, other nutters as well. You didn't notice these people, but of course now you go into not just a normal drugstore, super drug, and you meet the old crone there that says, got some Kelly Riley? Got a paracetamol? And we asked her, as we said before, we told her the other day, we said, hello, are you staying open during lockdown? And she said, yeah, of course we are. Shall paracetamol, don't we? Does that mean you're going to stay open then? Yeah, of course it does. We shall paracetamol. If we shall paracetamol, then you're essential shop. Obviously clothes aren't. We discussed that last time. Clothes non-essential. But paracetamol, headache and all that, essential. So we saw her this morning wandering about and doing her bit. Yeah, but very, very quiet at Meadowhall. And the upstairs car park is not being used at the moment. So when we got there this morning, well, later on, obviously, when later on this morning, we found it was very, very busy downstairs. We had to go because there were a few things we needed to do that were essentials. Not buying paracetamol, anything like that, but buying essential things. Then we came back, and then we were online learning. Continued our online learning, which is a pleasure, isn't it? Not. Yeah, maths teacher. Oh yes, it's okay for you today, isn't it? I can't do it today because I was supposed to be going live today. Be here prompt. Yeah, you weren't, were you, mate? You weren't there prompt today because you had to do something else, and that's fine because these things happen. But here he is. No, be prompt, be professional. Anyway, but these things happen. But the next time we don't turn up, mate, because we're having problems with the internet, then, don't have a go at us. Don't call us, we'll call you. Because we've all got lives. I'm trying to do my Zoom sessions, midway trying to do these sessions online with Sophia. And it's creating hell. It really is. Because, she's trying to do that, I'm trying to do that, I'm trying to do a Zoom. Just one look and then my heart went boom. Yeah, doing a Zoom session, meaning I'm trying to see my clients online with hypnotherapy and hypnosis and relaxation, motivation, and the internet, bless it, is going, not literally, that'd be wrong, but it's going bonkers, it's going crazy, and it's going in and out, doing the old okie dokie, and keeps kicking Sophia out of her online lessons. My online sessions are going, ooh, as if people think I'm drinking the ginger wine. Not ginger wine today, by the way. Coffee today. Pure caffeine. Just felt we needed it, mate. Bit of a pick-me-up. So, it's one of those days today where I really am in need of my caffeine. As we know from Motivational Doc, you can have coffee. It's fine. But don't have more than 4 cups a day. This is my 3rd cup today. So, and obviously, like the Gremlins, don't have coffee after 6 o'clock at night. You don't. Do not have coffee unless you want to be bouncing all night. It helps during the day to as a pick-me-up, but if you have it before bed, you've got no chance. You're just bouncing all night. Bouncy, bouncy, wee, high up in the sky, literally. Not good. So obviously, babe, if you're thinking of having caffeine, try and get your caffeine input well before 6 o'clock. 7 o'clock, maybe, okay, cut-off point, 7 o'clock. But after that, I wouldn't touch it. So hi, how are you all? Marigold, are you joining us today? Vegan Realist, are you joining us? And I'm a creep, I'm a weirdo. Not reflection on myself. Our friend Creepy, not been with us for a few days. Wondering where Creepy is. Having a few issues before he was, but hope you're okay there, mate. Fem, you've not joined us for a few days. Hope you're okay as well. What are you looking at, my darling? Looking at
no.
Something happening with the lion. Hush, my darling, don't fear, my darling. The lion sleeps tonight. Yeah, don't worry, it's a lion, but it's just I wanted to get up this morning, but I decided to have a lion. Get it? Lion? No, whatever. Stick to the day job, my little friend. Yeah. So as we were saying, welcome everybody today. Talking about whatever you want to talk about with us, that you want to chat about with us. Get things off your chest. Again, the thing that everybody's talking about, obviously, no, not COVID, because everybody is talking about that blessed thing, is the inauguration ceremony of Joe. Okay, Joe. And Donald Trump this morning doing his last, well, we saw it this morning, doing his last vengeance thing of letting all the loonies out of the prisons in America because I can. I'm going to let my friend John out because he's not that bad and he didn't know what he was doing. And he's using his clemency, isn't he? Well, he isn't now because that's it. But yesterday he was doing his last little bit to try and get as much out, squeeze out of being president as he possibly could before he's impeached. Sounds painful, doesn't it, impeaching? Which, as we asked our American friends yesterday what it meant, and we were kind of like told or guided to the fact that it was he will never be able to, if they sign this piece of paper, this second piece of paper, he will never be allowed to run for the President of the United States again, which I think is a bit unfair. Boo! Don't like that at all. It's cruel. I can't feel sorry. How can you feel sorry for a billionaire like Donald Trump that really doesn't give a monkey's nads about anybody? But he's entertaining, and we like Donald Trump, and we are do feel a little bit sorry for him at the moment. You know, it's like sat there going, I don't want to go to the party. I'm not going. I don't care. I'm not interested. And he will go. Yeah, he's not going to go. He's not going to go to any party. He wasn't. It's my party, and I'm not invited, and I don't want to go. I'm not doing it. I don't care. And he's got a real face on, hasn't he? But, Donny. I hope he does something to cause some more grief soon, because he may be there at the throwing potty poppers, I don't know.
So we've got Leah Lausin Carino, who says, done supporting.
Wow, that's a name and a half, isn't it? Hi, how are you?
Please don't forget to give us a stream at Hamsack, and thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you. What about you? Is it the first time you joined us? It sounds like it. And what about you joining us from today? From the Philippines? Because we do say that, because we kind of take a guess. Because right at the very beginning, all our subscribers came from the Philippines, which is brilliant. I think it was partly to do with the mindfulness meditation, the Thai boxing, the spiritual side of that. And our client base started to grow from the Middle East, and especially from the Philippines. And it's great to have you with us. You're welcome anytime. Whether you're working in Dubai, which a lot of our Filipino friends seem to be originally from the Philippines, but working out in either Dubai or Saudi Arabia or somewhere in the United Emirates. Not so many actually working in the Philippines. And over Christmas, I just digressed a little bit. It's great, wasn't it, Sophia? Because one of our friends put us live on a Christmas market in the Philippines, and we were singing, Christmas songs and getting really festive. And that's when Creepy joined us again, and chatting about all sorts with Creepy. And of course, the other day I'm quite missing Creepy not coming, because the other day we had our friend from Canada that came with a conspiracy theorist about things that how he felt underrepresented in his country at the moment, and quite strong, put a really good point forward that said he was really felt let down by his government at the moment, and felt like felt like a stranger in his own country. And that got us saying, talking about here at Elysium, obviously Elysium Sophia, we are all about motivation, and we have these motivational chats. And we're saying how funny it would have been. Well, not really funny. It could have got us into a lot of trouble, mate. Thinking about if we'd have been doing this, around the Gulf War time, we'd have been saying things like, hi, who have we got there? We've got Mr. Hussein. Hi, first name, and he'd be like, Saddam. Oh, hi, Saddam. How are you today? Not very good, thank you, my friend. Why is that, Saddam? People are trying to invade my country. Oh, you don't want to mess about with that. We'd be saying, wouldn't we? We'd be saying, oh, come on, you kick ass, and, do what you need to do. And he was like, thank you, my friend. Should I grow this moustache? Yes, looks good, mate. And before you know it, he's invading Kuwait, and we've encouraged something that, we're just thinking about these things, and all these activists, we don't know what they're going to do we? All we do here is encourage people and try to motivate people, like Mr. Motivator. But I mean, tongue-in-cheek, it would be very, very, we were talking about this yesterday, it would be very, very ironic, don't you think? It's like rain on your wedding day. Who would have thought it figures? We do digress and go on, but yeah, we'll just, it's quite ironic thinking if we were chatting to, I don't know, we just said there, Mr. Laden, Mr. Bin Laden. First name, Osama. Hi, Osama, you got mate? No, they have the same trouble as Mr. Hussein. Oh, well, yeah, you two got to stick together, mate, you know? Thank you, Elysium. And before you know it, you know, bish bash bosh, we've got nearly a third world war on our hands, and we wouldn't know any different, would we? We'd be just like, it all started when I spoke to my friend, who told me to go for my dreams of world domination. And okay, mate, not need to go that far. And the reason I say that is the friends that I was chatting to the other day. How do we know that our Canadian friend the other day? How do we know that on the news he's not going to be on next saying, yes, I spoke about it and I explained to my friend Dave, and he said that, you know, we got to take control. And today in America, the Hillybillies. Are they going to kick off today in the inauguration ceremony? Are they going to do that today? Because they're threatening it, aren't they? We did say this the other day. Life is like a box of chocolates. Stupid is as stupid does. And obviously this caused a lot of trouble for Donald Trump, didn't it? Because they were all Donald Trump supporters, or in the name of love, once more in the name of love. Great Bono was popping on there. Anyway, we digress. Back into the building again. In the name of the Republican Army, they were saying, nope, we feel the elections were all rigged. We don't want Biden. We don't want Mr. Biden. He's a bad egg. And in the name of the Republican Army, they've gone in there and stormed the Reichstag and kicked off big styly. Everybody expecting the same thing to be done again. We watching with intent today to see the army on standby, the Home Guard. Over here it used to be, the Home Guard. Who do you think you are kidding, Mr. Hitler, if you think old England's done? It's like having Dad's Army out there. Not quite the same, but it's got the that undertone there, hasn't it? Undertones, my perfect cousin. Do you remember those? Irish band they were. Fergal Sharkey, yeah? Fergal Sharkey, the Undertones. Yeah, we do digress here, but, you know, things come and things go. So, yeah, we're watching that with anticipation today. Anticipation of what's happening. And if you've got a view on that, you know, bob in and say hi. What do you think is going to happen? Am I being a bit hard on Joe? Is he a good guy? Is he a great leader? Is he going to bring you what you need? Is he going to draw a line under things? And I heard him speaking today about... excuse me, it's not COVID, but I heard him speaking today, something about remembering this year. It's been a horrible year, dreadful year, but in order to heal, we have to, well, we'd say you have to learn from it, but the difference here, I think, as I understand it, was draw a line under it and move on. But Joe seemed to be saying that we need to think about it and we need to come to terms with it. And then start the healing process, because he feels obviously that the United States needs to start healing and then moving forward again. It's going to be very, very interesting. It's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens across there in the United States. And good luck with it, our American friends. Again, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know which one you're going to get. But you don't, do you? But we've got this one now. We've got Joe Biden. And talking about Joe Biden, we're on the other side. We do chat shows on YouTube. We love that. And there's also another channel that we like a lot, and we do a chat show on there. And yesterday and the day before, the last 3 days, we've been joined by Barack Obama's nephew on there, which has been great, because it's nice, isn't it, when you have an Obama in your conversation, and then you just happen to say, oh yeah, related to Barack, are you? And he's like, yep, my uncle. Yeah, of course it is. Oh, really, it was, and it is. And he's joining us now on the other side, and that's really good to have these people joining us. We could name drop, can't we? Yeah, we had Barack Obama's nephew with us the other day, chatting. Always nice. And then when we were coming back today, we were chatting about things that people say, or people have said in the past that you think doesn't make any sense in conversation. Silly things that people say, you know. Silly things that people say that are quite nonsensical. Now if you've got any sayings that you want to share with us that you remember, in the true spirit of Peter Kay, I suppose, that does this a lot, takes expressions and says, what's that all about? We're on about why we started talking about this was about in the UK, the pub situation, the public house, where you have beer. I remember people being very, very anti changing things with going to the pubs. Growing up in the early 80s, late 70s, pubs used to be, I didn't understand it at the time. I was too young to understand it. But I remember hearing the men, as it were, saying, oh, it's a Tetley house, that. In a pronounced Yorkshire accent. It's a Tetley house, that. And I used to think, oh, it's a Tetley house, what's that mean? It's Stone's house, that. And it was about beer. And all of a sudden they used to say things like, oh, it's a free house, that. I was like, what do you mean, free house? A free house, meaning that they could sell different types of beer. They could sell Stone's beer, they could sell Tetley's beer. And we got chatting about it. We used to say, pubs were pubs, weren't they? Once upon a time, long, long ago, the men went to the pubs. And they had a room. There was a best room, which was kept for best, and something called a tap room, which I presume it's something to do with getting your beer on tap. Yeah, pumping out on tap. I don't know, beer keg with a tap on it. Call it the tap room. And it seems to me that the idiots used to go in there. I don't know, I wouldn't have gone into the tap room. I wasn't a tap. If I was around then, I would have been a best room person. Simply because, once to go into a room full of smoke and people smoking and drinking and, it's got this, it's got this connotation of, if it was down south, it would be full of Chas and Dave mob, wouldn't it? Rabbit, oh, I don't care, tap room might get a shatter, nah. In the tap room. In Yorkshire, of course, it's like, hey, what I do in there, lad? Get into the tap room. No, I don't want to go to the tap room, my kind sir. And I remember going in, and it was hilarious. It was really hilarious. Totally funny. Going in with my dad to a pub. Now, clearly, I was always, my dad was very, he still is, very much a man's man, and very straightforward. He says things. And I remember it was always really funny when I accompanied Mum and Dad into a pub, a public house, because I don't drink beer. I don't like beer, and I don't like to think of myself as being I'm not strange or anything. I just don't like beer. So when I used to go with my dad and my mum, and we go into a pub. Oh, because women in pubs, bit dodgy. But anyway, they spoilt that place. They've turned it into a food place. People used to say, my dad, he was okay, because his dad's quite he's open-minded in one way, but still very, very much, a pub's a pub. And he likes Stones and a Stones house or whatever. And we used to go to the bar and he'd say, what do you want to drink? And I'd say, the landlord might, what do you want then, my kind man? And he'd say, my dad would say, a pint of Stones, please. And he'd say, well, there you go. And he'd say, anything else? And he'd say, half a lager, please. Or my dad would always say, and a ladies' glass, please. Anyway, sexist to start off with, but anyway. Didn't put my dad in a little, vase, did they? I just put my dad in a pint pot. Then a ladies' glass for the lager, for my mum. And then he'd say, well, what do you want? And I'd say, I'll have coffee, please. And he'd say, coffee? As if I was bonkers, I'd go, yeah, coffee. He'd say, ooh. And then this was the funny part. Because my dad would say, okay, he wants a coffee. And then somebody would pipe up from the back, what's he wanting? They'd say, he wants a coffee. And he'd be like, oh, fancy pants wants a coffee. And I'd be like, fancy pants? What do you mean, fancy pants? Just because I want a coffee? I'd be like, hey, fancy pants wants a coffee. What's he after now? Coffee? Yeah, he wants a coffee. And my dad would actually, I think he was a bit embarrassed. He'd say, like, hey, he wants a coffee. He wants a coffee. Ooh, the village idiot, this, that, there. And he'd say, what's he after now? Hey, coffee? Fancy pants, eh? Ooh, fancy. But no, not fancy pants. I just want a coffee, Always off with that university lot. And he used to use phrases like that university lot, which I always found really hilarious. You know, people would say. Sometimes my dad would say, they'd say, "How's your David? Is he all right?" They'd say, "Oh, he's off with that university lot," and they're like, "Oh, as if it was some kind of disease." You know, it's like, is he all right? Well, yeah, it's fine. Where's he doing? What's he doing now? Is he working? Well, he's off at university. Is it? Oh, sorry to hear about that. What do you mean, sorry to hear about that? Nothing wrong. I've not died or anything. So, yeah. Well, he's doing okay. Yeah, he's doing great. He's off. He's not local then. He's not staying here. Not with going down to No, he's off at university. Oh, sorry to hear about that. No, he's not dead. He's just gone to university. But it was like, sometimes I do think my dad had to. It's like, oh, Dad. It's quite funny at the time listening to this conversation because. I'd be like, everything okay? And I'd be like, yeah, can't you? He'd be like say to me, do you have to drink coffee in here? And I'd be like, well, yeah, what do you mean? Why not? Well, no, but they think, I think it's strange. Well, no, I think they're strange. These, silly men in cloth caps and, these very, very racist, sexist people wanting to drink in the tap room. No, I want to go in the best room. Okay then. My dad would be like, okay, then we'll drink in the best room. We've got David with us today. We'll drink in the best room. Does that mean you go in the tap room? Because my dad didn't drink in the tap room, but a lot of people he knew did. So they'd be like, you all right then? Yeah, I'll see you in a minute then. Just off to the tap room. All these people, tap room. Yeah, I never did understand that. But tap room. I presume, as I say, it was where back in the days of yore, back in Geoffrey Chaucer days, where that comma heap. Old English. What do you want, old innkeeper? Go in the tap room, get the tap out, and get yourself a drink from the tap room. But what a strange term of phrase, tap room. And I think where we are at the moment, I think if people could, not particularly here, but around this area, they still could live in those days. I think they would. And a lot of them still do. A lot of the Dingles that we know and a lot of the Readers that we know, they still do live in that mentality, which is quite, sounds really snobbish, but it's quite endearing because it's like, provided you don't take it serious. It's like, they've let children in now. Ooh, what next? Women? But it was, once upon a time, man's world, apparently, and you went to the pub, and it was all based around that crap. That when you got home, your tea was on the table, your dinner was on the table, and in bygone days where, thank goodness, it's changed now, changed for the better. But you still go to football, yeah? Okay, I'm going to say this, guys, but still certain communities are still the same, aren't they? Now, come on, I'm going to say something now that's going to offend people, but we're big football fans, and big Sheffield United fans, actually. And we go to the matches a lot. We did before flipping lockdown. But anyway, I remember going to, when we play certain clubs, you get, I'll come back to this one, darling. Just say the word Oldham to me, my darling, okay?
So we've got Rog Edu channel who says thanks for sharing.
Not a problem. How are you? Okay?
Thank you for joining us. Well,
you're welcome.
Please don't forget to give a search for Tamsack and yeah.
Right, well, we're just saying, just reminiscing there, and we're in the Premiership at the moment, and we're on our way back out of the Premiership, unfortunately. But obviously, when we're in the Championship, and before, a bit lower down as well, then we used to go to have lots of wonderful, wonderful crowds that used to come to beautiful downtown Bramall Lane. And the people that I used to enjoy coming, they didn't like us, they hated us. But it was really funny when they used to come. Do you remember that, darling? When Oldham used to come.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go Oldham. Let's go Oldham. And they used to come. They used to sing. Now I'm not going to sing the song, but it was really funny. I'll say the word rat bag. Okay, and they'd say, I'm a rat bag, I'm a rat bag, I'm a rat bag, yes I am. But I'd rather be a rat bag than a rat in Yorkshire, man. You can, fill in the gaps there. But it was back. They hark back to the War of the Roses, and it was hilarious when certain clubs came to Bramall Lane. The songs were great. Oldham in particular brilliant when Oldham came because they're very passionate, the Oldham fans, obviously. But that particular song, used to love it when Oldham came. Oldham. Let's go, Oldham. And then obviously another club it used to come. We used to when the Welsh clubs used to come. You know, I've been through and through. Straight from Zulu. Yeah, that was great. And then the other side, that was the Cardiff guys. Then across the water, land of our fathers, land of our fathers. And that was great. The Swansea lads, they used to come along. And but you know, we always used to get a good crowd when some great. I used to love it when the crowds came from from Swansea and from Cardiff and from Oldham. Always came with their and then Portsmouth, Pompey. Play up, Pompey, Pompey, play up. This guy, this big hairy fairy, big drum, boom, boom, boom. Play up, Pompey, Pompey, play up. Oh, great! I used to miss Pompey coming. And then obviously endearment when Leeds came. Leeds, we all let Leeds go. We all let, oh, nice, so good, isn't it? But we had a song about we all like Leeds and Leeds and Leeds, and it's flipping heck. Football songs, I know we're chatting about it now, but all clubs that came to beautiful downtown Bramall Lane. It was great when the clubs that came with a bit of reputation. Millwall, yeah, I loved it when Millwall came. There's never a dull moment when Millwall come. The last time Millwall came, they were a no-show. But before then, Millwall came, and Sophia wasn't very old at all. And obviously with the kickboxing, I was a prequel to all that, taking Sophia to the matches so that she could, see for herself these warlords. And the last time I think that Millwall came, and funny lads, they were great, bit of banter going. Millwall came, and there wasn't one. This particular game, there wasn't one female in the crowd. They were all Millwall lads, and it kind of spoke for itself, didn't it? It's a culture thing. And of course, it's referred to in with the great Del Boy in Only Fools and Horses. Talks about Millwall fans all the time. But again, it's what it's about. It's not just about the game itself. The game sometimes for us, the game itself gets in the way of things. It's the going to the match. To us, is all about the atmosphere. It's all about getting up in the morning. It's all about thinking who we're playing today. It's planning what you're going to do. Going down there, as you know, it's planning about the day ahead, and then it's the pre-match entertainment, and it's the banter in the crowd, and again, it's not happening at the moment. So we're watching games on TV, watching Sky games at the moment, which is great. At least you can watch some football at the moment, but the dub crowd noises. It's really good how they keep putting don't they, Sophia? Remember we were talking about it.
Yeah.
They keep putting the crowd. You can have a choice at the moment when you're watching Sky. You can watch the dubbed crowd, which is kind of a recording from when the club was there and their songs. I'm a basket, I'm not Oldham, but playing over, and you can hear that. Or you can have the mic just playing, and you can hear all the bad language, and you can hear all the players shouting to each other. The goalkeeper, kicking it up and everything. So you can choose, but it's not the same, because crowds make the football. Crowds make football because it's entertaining. And we are missing that at the moment. And the reason I digressed and started talking about that was because it's all this mentality thing, isn't it? You get the old 70s and 80s, and you get the mentality. Now, of course, before then, when the tap room was really a tap room, inhabited by men with flat caps and canvas and brushes were wearing thin. When you have to tap room, then mate, if we go now. Now canvas and brushes were wearing thin when London started calling him. Come on down and wear the old flat cap. And I can imagine, especially around these places we're talking about now, but with the tap rooms, best room. Yeah, there was a best room and a tap room. But for me, in particular, starting my journey going into public houses, or pubs as they're affectionately known, very interesting, because a best room and a tap room. And it said that if you wanted a game of dominoes or darts, you went into the tap room. And if you wanted to sit and have a conversation, and didn't want to, inhale smoke, then you went into the best room. And most pubs had a best room and a tap room. And they like ladies, they like women in the best room, but very frowned upon. But these women that went into the tap room weren't really women anyway. They were kind of a bit like, very... Anyway, let's not even go there, because we'll get done for sexism. Because if anybody, I'm probably the most unsexist person out. The nicest possible way. But seriously, because people usually say that, don't they? I'm not racist, but then they start, they come out with a racist comment. I'm not sexist, but, and then they come out with some sexist jargon. But I really like to think we're so open-minded here at Elysium, and share a lot of values with, with the rainbows of the world. It's sharing diversity, as we do here at Elysium. And again, that's why I don't think for a certain period of my life, I didn't feel that I fitted in where we live, simply because I didn't drink with the locals, didn't eat with the locals, and didn't join the local gang, as it were. I kind of watched from a distance and kind of like watch what they were doing. But kind of like never really part of it. And of course then didn't help when I used to go into the pub and ask for a coffee or a glass of white wine or a spritzer. Didn't go down very well at all, because obviously I was one of that university mob, and actually I was referred to as always poncing it off with those university lot. I also remember growing up and people saying things like, is your David, is he still playing football? No, he's poncing it off with his swimming friends. I heard that actually said. No, poncing it off with his swimming friends. That wasn't my dad, by the way. That was, he was got good, my dad, not his mum. But I heard that said so many times. Playing football then, David? No, I'm going to ponce it off with my swimming friends. That's what I used to say, or feel like saying. But I wasn't strong enough then to say that. But inside thinking, what do they mean, poncing it off with my swimming friends? Kind of like, didn't like that expression. How's your David? Is he alright? Is he alright? Still playing football? Is he doing cricket? Football? Rugby? No, he's poncing it off with his swimming friends. And obviously, a little bit later, no, he's poncing it off with his kickboxing friends. Poncing it off in Thailand now, actually, with his Thai boxing friends. Poncing it off kickboxing. He's off with those university poncers. The word ponce, where did that come from? Ponce. Ponce. It's like, it's a word, isn't it? That's obviously a degrading word that I think people used to. I think people actually felt in the 80s or 70s that they didn't want to use the word puffer. So if they use the word ponce, it was a nicer way of referring to people who were, not into the mainstream things that everybody else was into, but quite offensive. And that they used to use terms like that. I was often referred to as poncing it off. It's kind of like illiterate people using that terminology. It's poncing it off. Yes, where are you going tonight, David? Well, I thought I'd ponce it off in a wine bar. Oh, he'll be poncing it off in the local wine bar. As I got a bit older and started to drive, all my friends, had gone to university and we'd all gone to uni. But obviously, certain people used to say, where are you going tonight then, Dave? No, I thought I'd ponce it off. Go off to my friend's wine bar and ponce it off. Oh, my word. Peter Kay would love this, wouldn't he? I just thought to myself there, it was like, you saw him poncing it off. But the things that people say, as Peter Kay says, you do a lot of things with your hands, don't you? We tend to say that here at Elysium Sophia as well. We tend to say, not next week, the week after. So if you're going forward in time, you go to your right-hand side. Not next week, the week after, as Peter Kay used to say. But it's the same in reverse, isn't it? Not last week, but the week before. So if you go that way, not next week, but the week after. But if you're talking about in the past, you go that way. Is that true? So
Yeah.
is that true? Not last week, but the week before. 2 big tomcats came to the door. One with a drum, one with that kind of thing. Something of that ilk. But yeah, how we talk about things. It's very, very all done with your hands, isn't it? All done with hand signals. And we were saying today as we were walking around and about things that we say that are stupid things that people say. It's all kicking off in the pub. Well, what was that then? Somebody walking around with a ball. Hey, kicking off. It's all kicking off. And things people used to say to each other. That what were the things we were talking about? So the things we were just saying, some phrases that we used earlier, my darling. That I think so.
I don't think.
I think not.
Yeah.
That was a good one, wasn't it? I think not. Are you going out tonight? I think not. What? All of a sudden I turn into Middle World English. What are you doing today? Are you going out? Is it going to snow today? I think not. I don't think so. I think not. What else did we use, my darling? We said a few things when we were coming out of one of the shops today, didn't we? It's kicking off. It's all kicking off down there. It's not. Lots of things. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think not was another classic. It was another one that we said earlier. That was, throw me a freaking bone over here, madam. Something that we said. I don't think so. I think not. Colloquialisms, anyway.
Yeah.
Because obviously we were talking about terms of endearment, known by many people as accents, dialect. And I'm not going to go about accents again because we did that on the last conversation. But things that people say that are like what we call colloquialisms, using phrases that are just used and known by yourselves and that area, or dialects, and people say, tin tin tin, tin tin tin, the, Broad Yorkshire, as in Yorkshire, or tut, off tut, off to the, off tut. Things that are very local to how people think and how people say things. Just off tut pub, to the pub, yeah, tut. And again, I suppose we're in the tap room here, aren't we? We're in the how people say things. Another thing, we're dropping your H's. That's another thing. Hate it when people drop the H's. But again, we have this argument so many times. You go through the alphabet, don't you? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Actually, it's H, which is really, really funny. And I know this because obviously I studied this at university when I was ponsing it off at university, doing linguistics. H. It's not H, it's H, but you're dropping your H. How bizarre. So, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. The sound H, not H. H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z, O, Little Jack on a Saturday. Yeah, so for all our Filipino friends there, and people who are struggling to understand, rightly so, the English language, very strange, the English language. H, dropping your H's. In Huddersfield and Hampshire, hurricanes seldom happen. Keeping your H there. It's called pronunciation. And once upon a time, if you wanted to get a job on the BBC or you wanted to get a job on radio, then you'd have something called renounced pronunciation. It was speaking correctly. That's what it was, renounced pronunciation. And when you went to university, pouncing it off like I did with that lot, a lot of us spoke renounced pronunciation. We did, renounced pronunciation. That's what we did. And then you came back and people dropped their H's and said and things like that. But yeah, accents. Very, very funny, isn't it? We talk a lot about accents and how people at a certain level, speak the same language. That's very, very true. And the idea is that it's kind of, and it makes sense, doesn't it? So if you're a doctor from Edinburgh or Glasgow, you can speak the same language and understand a doctor from Wales. Well, that's a bit debatable, or London maybe. But if you try this one. If you're a bricklayer from Manchester, You try and have a conversation as a bricklayer with a bricklayer from Glasgow. It ain't gonna happen. Haven't got the foggiest, because the colloquialisms and the accent will get in the way. And it is so funny how we digressed, didn't we, Madonna? We were talking about things that people say. Different choice of words for different things. Buns, bread, baps, bread cakes, balms, buns, baps, sarnies, sandwiches, anything that has a filling in it, as it were. But of course, around here it's bread cakes or tea cakes. And I remember going to the shop and people asking for, can I have 4 plain tea cakes and 4 currant tea cakes? Currant tea cakes, plain tea cakes. And I used to wrongly, obviously, used to call them bread cakes and tea cakes, because for me, if you had a tea cake, then it had currants in it. If you had a bread cake, it was plain. But I predominantly remember going to shops, growing up and, very young, and saying, a bread cake, please. And I would never use the word plain tea cake and currant tea cakes, because they were a different thing. There were tea cake had currants in it, and a bread cake didn't. So for me, saying a currant tea cake or a plain tea cake was wrong. Tea cakes, bread cakes. And obviously we never said the word balms here, but as you go up towards the northwest, start going up, let's go Oldham and Manchester and even Liverpool and that way, they do start calling them balms or bread cakes. Balms become balms. If you watch the soaps, if you watch Coronation Street, Roy's Rolls, you see they've changed it now, haven't they? Have you noticed that, Sophia?
No.
Rolls.
Yeah.
A bread roll.
Yeah.
Balm. Once upon a time, if you went into the cafe in Coronation Street, you'd ask for 2 balms. But they've called the place Roy's Rolls.
Yeah.
An alliteration, I get it, Roy's Rolls, but you're going for a bread roll.
Yeah.
Can I have a ham roll, please? I've never heard anybody go and ask in Roy's, can I have a bread roll? Can I have a ham roll? I would like to think that if people went into to Roy's Rolls or Roy's Cafe, they would still ask for a bap. Can I have a turkey bap? A cheese bap? They would not ask for, hey Roy, can I have one of your cheese rolls? I don't know. I'm going to listen out for that.
Yeah.
The next time I watch Corrie, which will be this evening, I'm going to listen out. Who actually goes and asks for a roll? Roy's Rolls. Can I have a cheese roll, Roy? I'm sure they'd ask for a bap. But yeah, baps. Buns. Now, buns to me, the reason I don't use the word buns, because a bun is sweet.
Yeah.
A bun is sweet, isn't it? But then you have a bun in your hair. Now, is that supposed to be a bread bun? When people have a bun, it looks like bread, doesn't it? A bread bun. So actually, they could be right in that. Buns don't necessarily have to be sweet. But to me, a bun is something that's is sweet. So I wouldn't ask for a sausage bun. That would be wrong. That would imply that it was a sweet-tasting sausage sandwich. That would be wrong. But if I ask for a bread cake, that'll be fine.
Yeah, but that's the same thing, a bread cake.
Bread cake, a cake, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah, but then we're going into fish cakes.
Oh yeah.
Fish cakes, is that supposed to be the same thing? And let's not get started on that, because where we live at the moment, it's betwixt Manchester, Sheffield, Barnsley, that area. If you go into one area, and particularly into Sheffield, and ask for a fish cake, then you would like to hope that you would get fish with 2 bits of what they call scallops on either side, and battered. That would be a fish cake. But oh no, if you don't watch it, you get a risole. And then war breaks out. I can tell you now, wars have been fought over the War of the Roses. Wars have been fought around this area about not asking for the wrong thing, but getting the wrong thing. I didn't ask for that. No, that's a risole. No, it's not. It's a fish cake. No, it's not. It's a risole. No, it's not. It's a fish cake. And they go on and on and on all night. On and on and on.
Yep.
Arguing the proverbial Tossington about whether it was a fish cake, whether it was a fish cake, or whether it was a risole. And then you go across to, I still don't know. When you go into Barnsley, you're going to Manchester. If you ask for a fish cake, if somebody gave you a risole, then you would be disgusted. because as the song goes from the Greasy Chip Butty song, fish and chips are very very important in this neck of the woods for a lot of people. Excuse me. But yeah, things we say different things, meaning different things to different people in whichever part of the country you're in. Scones and scones. That's another one, isn't it? Do you say scones or do you say scones? I'd like 2 jam and cream scones, please. Or do you say 2 jam and cream scones? Now, the spelling of it is scone, isn't it? Yeah?
Yeah.
Scone. S-C-O-N-E-S. Scones. But people pronounce it scones. And people, is that a Scottish thing? And don't get me started on that. Tatties and taties. What name for a potato? Tatties. Potato. Spuds. There's loads of different things for different variations on the same theme. But as I say, it's poncing it off, isn't it? Poncing it off, it's not a scone, it's a scone. Oh, poncing it off, it's not a scone, it's a scone. Scones, potato, call it what you will. You might think, what's that silly bald guy talking about now? But I just find it fascinating, and thought maybe you might. Taking our trip again as we said in our title there before, apart from the lion sleeping tonight, taking a trip down memory lane and looking at how things were. We were talking earlier, weren't we, about the idea of the public house, the pub, and how growing up, when I first went into a pub, mesmerised by the choices that were on offer there. Real men drank pints. That's what they did, pints. Pint of beer. I'll have a pint, my good man. Ponces had halves, apparently. Or they ponced it off in the local wine bar and had a glass of wine. And apparently I was a ponce, because I didn't drink pints of beer. And as we said earlier, I was poncing it off with my unit. And I find it quite... I find it's quite wrong, isn't it? But the phrases people use, especially in the late 70s and early 80s, for things they just didn't understand. But again, my daughter Sophia we were talking about this at school the other day on a live. It wasn't yesterday, it was the day before. That was it that way. They were talking about phobias, and because obviously we work with phobias here at Elysium. Islamophobia. Phobia, a hatred of, or a stemming from a fear of, misunderstanding of, ignorance of. Because that's why we should all try and be empathetic and try and know a little bit about everything. Because ignorance isn't bliss. Ignorance is just being stupid. Because if you're ignorant of something and you don't know enough about it, then it becomes a threat. And if you know something about something, it's not strange or weird, and it's quite, again, we were talking about Islamophobia, and we were talking about, people having a fear of something through ignorance, because they don't understand it. Oh, weird that. It's weird. They refer to it as weird. We were talking, darling, we were just talking about the lesson we had. We were saying, not last week, the week before, because we went that way, and we're talking about the word Islamophobia. And we were saying about such a word, all being based on ignorance, not being bliss, but ignorance being based on breeding fear. Because if people don't understand something, they begin to fear it. And the more they understand it, the less they fear it, and then it doesn't happen. And it's no longer a phobia, is it? It's homophobia, Islamophobia. Because the more we know about something, the more we know about something, the more we're au fait with it, there again, au fait with it. We use that phrase, don't we? Other French words that creep into the English language. The more we're au fait with something, or understanding of it, then the more we know about it, the more we don't fear it, the more we know about it, and it becomes familiar, and Bob's your uncle. Yeah. And that's another one, isn't it? Uncle. Bob's your uncle. Where's that one come from?
Yeah.
Bob's your uncle. It's not. Bob's your uncle. There you go. Sorted it out. Bish Bash Bosh, prefer that one, but Bob's your uncle. You've got it. Bob's your uncle. But talking about all these things that ignorance and a misunderstanding of different things, and ignorance, and yeah, and we were also talking the other day, again about when I was pouncing it off with my university friends, not my swimming friends by the way, they was the university lot, and or the kickboxing lot, the karate lot, martial arts lot, pouncing it off with whoever I was pouncing it off with. But anyway, we're chatting about place names. And we were talking about place names, and Sophia's enjoying history at the moment. And we're enjoying watching, obviously, all things Gothic, as we bore you with here at Elysium Sophia. But because we're very Gothic, very sporty, very Gothic, but also we're also very much interested in semantics and where things originate from. And place names. We love watching the Vikings. We're watching The Last Kingdom at the moment with Uhtred, son of Uhtred, and we're enjoying that. And it's a real learning curve because it's using the words that people use that came from Viking words, or we have Anglo-Saxon words, or we have Norman words. So after every conquest, Roman words. And they're in our general language today. And we do find that really fascinating. We have the word ham. We have Ham as in Hamlet, small village. Ham, Hamlet. Birmingham, Nottingham. Rotherham. Okay? Bridge. We have these words, Stocksbridge, whatever. We have Field, Sheffield, Huddersfield. Chester, meaning castle. Manchester, Dorchester, Chichester, all those words. Ford, river crossing.
Winchester.
Again, pardon?
Okay.
No, it was Lincoln, that one. It's nothing to do with anything at all.
No, you already said it.
What?
The one I was thinking of.
Ford, Castleford,
Yeah.
river crossing, a ford, Bradford.
What did you think of
I
that?
don't know what you said, my darling. Bradford, a ford, a river crossing, Field, Sheffield, Bradfield, Lichfield, Essex, Suffolk, Suffolk, folky music, Suffolk, but again, castle, yeah, Newcastle, yeah. That type of thing. All these words that originate from the Norman conquests, because we've invaded, haven't we, so many times here. And this is what annoys me when people say, "Oh, I'm English, me. I'm British." Yeah, okay. But if you go back, you might not be, because it's pretty much certain that you'll have some French in there, you'll have some Celtic in there, you'll have some Norwegian, some Viking in there. Or you'll have something in there that'll be a little bit different. Okay, that's what you'll be having. Okay, you'll be having something that before you start saying, "Yeah, I'm English, mate. I'm English through and through. English." Yeah, okay. You might well be. A lot of people can be, and believe they are. That's fine. But I'm sure you'll find that back in your family tree, we've been invaded so many times in this little island. That the chances of us actually not being related to Normans or the French or the Italians or from the Roman invasions or from the from the Middle East or from anywhere, and especially from these areas that we're talking about now, Scandinavia, from the Vikings, Anglo-Saxon. Penny.
Hi, Kalel. So we've got Kalel.
Hi, Kalal. How are you?
Kalel says, "Hey guys, love the lion, by the way."
Oh, are you loving
Oh,
it? Thank you. Yeah, it's been one of those lives today, Kalal, where I'm just off on one and just reminiscing about things that go bump in the night. And we're just obviously, if you've just joined us now, talking about things that word endings or words that people that say I'm English or whatever, like yourself, obviously for Spanish, is it? Something Portuguese, Spanish. Heard somewhere, but yeah, people that originate from that are here at the moment, are their family names. you know, that come from different areas, and the words that come from this country being invaded so many times by the Vikings, by the Romans, and the words that have come into general use today. It started me off by saying, obviously, the word au fait. Are you au fait with that and understanding?
Khalil said I was born in Spain.
That's right. I knew there was some kind of Spanish connection there. I do listen to what Sophia tells me, you know, contrary to popular belief. But we were just saying about these words that crop in, whether that be a river crossing in a Ford, not a car, not a Ford Escort or anything like that, but a ham or a Ford or a borough or church, kirk. Obviously, Dingleland, Kirk, Balk, a balk, and a kirk, a church, you know. All these words that are, you know, some people find it boring, but obviously when I was ponsing it off at university, I got into all this, and obviously semantics and the origins of words, the origins of language that we have today, that we're left with, because as we said, this island in the sea being pillaged by the Celts, by the obviously by the Vikings, the Romans, by the French, and then these little tiny people in the middle, the Anglo-Saxons, and again you've even got the Britons there, haven't you? From right down the because the Britons and Boadicea and all that, you know, riding Hannibal, and riding over mountains and all that. When you look back and well, I'm fascinated by the Britons. Because they're nothing like Rule Britannia now. Because when we think of the word now, Britons, don't we? We think of the last night of the proms. Rule Britannia, Britannia rules the waves. Britons never, never, never shall be slaves. Rule Britannia. And now the Britons, when you look at the old, they're almost like witchcraft people. And it's great looking at the back to Cornwallia, back to Cornwall, where right at the far side there, even when the Vikings were in there, little Cornwallia, great how it's called it, Cornwallia, and changed to Cornwall. Right at the bottom there were the Britons, the Britons that we now know, you know, they changed throughout the years and became British. But before it was Rule Britannia, the Britons were tribes that lived down there that were quite fascinating, into almost the Arthurian legends, because the Britons then obviously amalgamated in there, and then we had King Arthur. Now, obviously, before you start jumping here and saying, no, that wasn't real, that was, the Plantagenet and King Arthur and Merlin, because I'm fascinated with all that kind of thing. But of course, you've got the Knights of the Round Table, and Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, and you've got all the magical, mythical, call it what you want, around at that era, and Wales and Camelot, the magic that was Camelot, and Merlin. Start me off on Merlin, we'll be here all day. But yeah, it just goes to show that we're an island, and we're England, Scotland, Ireland, and Wales, and wherever you go. Somebody was saying the other day about about the Celts and about the Celts, from whether they were Irish Celts or Scottish Celts, and then the word kilt and Celt, the similar words that mean. If you think of Irish, or you think of Welsh, well, not so much Welsh, but if you think of Irish or Scots, and again, not Scottish, Scots, not Scotch. People make that statement a lot, and it's quite offensive to some people. If you say I'm a Scotchman, no, you're not. You're a Scotsman. They're not Scotchmen, they're Scots. Yeah. And Irish and Scots. Now, the Irish wore kilts, and the Scots wore kilts, and it obviously was all about the clan that they, not the Ku Klux Klan, heaven forbid. That's another story. But the clans. Hello, are we okay?
Yeah.
The clans. What are we talking about there, Warren? Clans. Yeah. The clans, and obviously depending which clan you were in, was the colour that you wore with your sporran. Your clan, you were a part of a clan, a group. But the Celts, Celtic, and obviously then you had the clans, the Celts, and the clan, the tartan. So yeah, all wrapped up in a little package. And when we started on this journey, because we're talking about myself, when I was growing up, and the phrase, what is he doing? He's poncing it off with his swimming friends. He's poncing it off with his university friends. I was a ponce, apparently, poncing it off.
Hi, so we've got Creepy.
Creepy,
Hi,
my
Creepy.
word.
How
Have you been listening along, Creepy? Because I hate to have to go through what I've just been talking about for such a long time.
Thank you, Creepy, for joining us.
Yeah,
How are you today?
we're just ending our stream, mate. Another 10
Yeah.
minutes and then we're off ski. I don't know whether you've been joining us. We did actually say earlier, how are you?
I've placed 2 videos up today you might like.
Oh,
We'll
brilliant.
check those
We'll
out.
check those out the other day. Listen, mate, we were chatting, we missed you the other day. Because
Solaire.
better careful we don't say your name. Solaire, was it?
Yeah.
I don't know. We had a chat the other day, and you would have loved it because we had a friend. Well, I think it was from the Vegan Realist mob, and it was a guy from Canada, and we got on about you might want to watch it back. I think was it Saturday, love? Was it Saturday?
Yeah.
And it was about the conspiracy theorists, and they were all out. Oh my word! It got so heated. And if you'd have been there, you'd have loved it.
Creepy said, how I've just been been uploading videos. Being busy trying to get home.
Oh, yeah.
And then Vegan Realist said, hi, David Bickery shared.
Hi, thank you.
And hi also. Hi, Vegan Realist.
Hi, Vegan Realist. How are you? We were
Thank
just
you for sharing our
chatting about the long chat that we had
How
the
are
other
you
day
today?
with our Canadian friend, and Creepy, if they'd have been there, would have enjoyed the conversation.
Creepy said, oh, really, damn it. I always miss the good ones.
Hey, I think it was. Can you try and think about it? Was it Saturday?
Yes, it
Saturday. If you want, if you've not got anything else better to do, and
It
you
was
want to
really
sit
good.
through
It was
them.
a really good.
Well, we mentioned you in the chat because
Yeah,
we actually
it was really
we asked them to go and watch your videos.
Yeah, we did.
Because it was that same chat. I think it was Saturday, and we
Yeah.
said go and watch our friends Creepy's because it was all about the wonder, the strange, and things that go bump in the night and all that kind of thing. But it was all about conspiracy theory, and it potentially it was like chairing this debate that was could have gone either way, and it was very, very deep, and it was all about COVID, obviously, and it
Creepy
just went on.
said, oh, that's nice of you, brother.
No, you're all right, mate. You're welcome anytime.
Yeah, you are.
Because obviously this is what it's all about, isn't it? Showing things.
Kalal said I might take a look.
Take a look. Yeah, you go back to
It
that
was
one, Kalal.
very,
I think it was Saturday.
Yeah.
You'll know because
It
you'll
was
get
really good.
You'll know it was that one because this guy, what was his name again?
It was Solaire.
Solaire came in from Canada. And I was told
Yeah.
you'll know because I'll mention Canada. I think it was either Friday or Saturday or Sunday. I think it was Saturday. But it was very deep. And Jack came along and also
Harry.
Cheesecake. Harry, banging his drum like Dom did today. They came and I think they even were like, whoa. We brought it down a little bit because it was quite, it got quite intense. Because they were talking about, because again we mentioned WASP-M, white Anglo-Saxon middle-class males. And it was our friend that was talking that felt that in Canada at the moment that the Anglo-Saxon, the white Anglo-Saxon middle-class males were being sold down the river by the Canadian government. And we all started off because we talked about Black Lives Matter, All Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, and the fact of the sound that if you said All Lives Matter, then you could be deemed as a racist. And that was the start of it all.
So Creepy said, well, I have uploaded John Jones,
Excuse me.
who died in Nutty Putty Cave in America, and I've just uploaded the murder of Rebecca Schaffer's story.
Cool. We'll check those out as well then, Creepy. We'll get back and have a look at those. Thank you for sharing that. We were just saying that the conversation went. Obviously, please check it out because obviously I forget Alzheimer's or whatever it is. But it was a conversation that he felt that people in Canada. The reason I started saying that was because. We were on about the indigenous population of a country, and I was kind of like getting at and intimating at the indigenous population of Canada. I thought they were Indians. I thought they was French, and it was like, it was
said,
interesting.
I think you will enjoy them. Yeah, we will have a
But
look after
we'll
the
take a look,
live.
and I'm sure we will, mate. I'm sure we'll enjoy them. And at the same time, bob over and have a look at that debate, whether it was Saturday, because it started off with Black Lives Matter. And it then went across, and it was a great. I love chairing that one. and it was a great in-depth conversation about all sorts. At one point, I don't think there's anything there, but and then we were just today we were saying about how different words have come into the English language, and how growing up, it was really funny because I was when I went across to university, it was I was described as I was poncing it off with my university friends. I love that phrase, and it was the word ponce. I was a ponce, apparently. How's your David? Oh, he's okay, he's fine. And people say, what's he doing now? Oh, he's at university. It was almost like people were like, oh, sorry to hear about that, as if I died, you know?
Quippy said, did you know Columbus didn't discover America? The Vikings was there before him. It founded in Canada and went down to America.
I do know that, mate.
There was artifacts in Boston from Vikings.
I do know that because we've been watching Vikings. And the Vikings that actually finished up in right at the end when they finished up in Canada, where at the end when we've got our two great Vikings right at the end, when Floki goes across to Canada, and it's all in the last series of the Vikings.
Said,
Brilliant.
Oh, really? Haha.
It's mega. It really is good because obviously Floki is there, coming into the island, sitting there with his friends. Floki. I've not gone mad, it's just my impression of Floki there. And he's at the end, who are the two that left? Floki and
Uber.
Uber on the beach with their ponchos. And it's a really good, if you get a chance, mate, watch the last one because it's all about, obviously Ivar, before that, goes across to the Russian side and that side, and that's good. And then finally they get across to Canada and it's exactly the same as you're saying now. About them discovering that area. They've already discovered Greenland and Iceland, and then obviously went too far the other way and finished up in flipping Canada. Well before, like you say, before Columbus and all that lot. But they were. It was very, very interesting, and it was almost like before. And obviously, it was like I don't know. It was almost like the Incas meet Quetzalcoatl. It was because something I'm really interested in is Quetzalcoatl and the Aztecs. Very, very the Mexican side there. Very, very very interested in the history of that area.
Creepy said it was a Viking who left their country due to exile or just being he wanted to travel.
Yeah.
They landed in Greenland and Iceland.
Yeah.
Then he wondered what was further.
What was
landed
further,
in
exactly.
Canada, then went to America.
Exactly, because they'd already discovered Francia, hadn't they? They'd already gone that way. They'd gone to the Middle East with Bjorn and everybody. They'd gone that way to the Middle East and they discovered that side and Francia, and then they went the other way with Rollo, went that way.
Aztecs are very mysterious.
They are, love it. The Incas and the Aztecs and Quetzalcoatl. Oh my word! Don't get me started about that.
Easter Island is another mysterious.
It is, isn't it? The Easter Islands, all again. So like perched where they are, you think, as opposed to boring, like the Canary Islands. Sorry if you don't think that, but do you know? I think they're one of the most boring places in the world is Fuerteventura, Canary Islands, Lanzarote, Tenerife, plastic land, as far as I'm concerned. Only ever been once, wouldn't go again. Went to a place called Las Palomas, which was the nudist colony. Nudist beach there, mate. It was fantastic. Not off, mate. But it was the nudist colony. We stayed at Las Palomas in Lanzarote, was it? No, it was, I can't remember. It was one of the islands anyway, but wouldn't go again. I know it's volcanic crap, but it wasn't my bag. A lot of people love Tenerife. A lot of people love it. Don't get me wrong. If you love it, you love it. But I like to go to a place that's got history. Hence why we love Cyprus and the Greek area.
They found caves in Easter Islands with human bones in, but paintings that date back thousands of years, and they look like spaceships and aliens.
Well, I know, yeah. It's one of those places, isn't it, Easter Island? It's almost like, because anything could happen there. It's almost like welcome to the land of the strange. It's like the Bermuda Triangle, isn't it? I suppose I don't need to, preach to you about the Bermuda Triangle. Again, I'm suggesting here that you know a lot about the Bermuda Triangle, or you've read up, or you're interested in the Bermuda Triangle, because that's something that is still unsolved. We've got the Loch Ness Monster that way, whatever, but the Bermuda Triangle still intriguing. But a great the nation that is the Aztecs, yeah, leave a lot to be desired. The Aztecs and those great Incas, the temples that they built there, that are still standing, almost the equivalent of the pyramids, aren't they? They're almost the equivalent of the pyramids, but just slightly different, slightly more lopsided. Well, not, I don't know. But the Incas and the lost tribes of the Incas, very deep, very interesting, great to continue on.
They think the statues were moved in by aliens and their spaceships, as the monuments was hundreds of tons and came from the other end of the island. They had no way of moving them, and
No.
never knew it had humans on the island
Yeah.
until they found the bones.
It's almost the same vein as the looking at the stones at Stonehenge, isn't it? The mystery behind Stonehenge and the Stevenage, and they're talking at the moment, aren't they, about putting a flipping motorway under it, or disturbing the peace. I wouldn't be messing with that.
Yeah, the city's bleeding massive.
Just a bit, yeah. If you think about it, where we've got the Stonehenge at the moment, as far as I understand it, Stevenage, and they're talking about building a road under it, under Stonehenge. Is that right? That can't be right, can it? It's me that's misheard it. I don't know. They were talking about going round it, but now they're talking about going under it, under Stonehenge. It's like, whoa, come on, leave Stonehenge alone. Stonehenge is there for a reason, and rightly so. Full of mystery, full of magic, mythical, magical, call it what you will. Definitely something in Stonehenge.
You heard of the Alaskan Triangle?
Oh, what? Sorry.
Alaska.
Yeah, the Alaskan Triangle. Yeah, almost like very, very similar to the Bermuda situation. But it's again very minimalistic. My knowledge of that, and know a lot more about the. Fascinated by the Pitcairn Islands as well. Obviously, Mutiny on the Bounty, and Fletcher Christian stopping there in those islands, and how we duped, how the again, mate, how we duped people in the past, colonialism, and we went out and gave them a bar of chocolate, and they gave us all these fruit trees.
Stonehenge isn't the oldest henge though, it's a graveyard. People think it's a pilgrimage worship place, but no, it's a graveyard.
Really a graveyard. Yeah, that's why I don't think they should be disturbing it, mate, going under it.
Thousands of people go missing every year.
Yeah. That's why I don't think it should be going under it. I should just leave it. It's, you wouldn't go under the Acropolis, would you? Go under there. So yeah. What was I just talking about there before Stonehenge? I've lost the thread there now. Just thinking about.
The oldest. Hang on.
I was on about the Pitcairn Islands, wasn't I? I was on about the.
The oldest henge is underwater now, in between the tip of Scotland and the Orkney Islands.
Yeah. That was what I was talking about. That was.
I agree.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we basically went across there and said, "What do you want? I'll give you this shiny teapot, and you give us breadfruit, rubber." We just went and duped them, didn't we? Again, we raped and pillaged another country there and took everything they got and gave them a Mars bar. I don't know. It's just vile. Yet another example of how the British are. I'm sorry, because we are British and we are, supposed to be, proud of our origins. But how can you be proud of a nation that went out and duped everybody and just pillaged everybody to get what they wanted, stole the ideas, stole what they wanted, and then took it and went off? It's like, no, it's not good, is it, mate? It's not good. It's hey ho, Peter Quince. Look, we're going to have to end our live very, very soon, mate. It's really nice that you're still here. Please bob in next time and join us, and I hope you're okay, and your wife and everything over there.
We have never been slaves though, lol.
No, we haven't. Britons never, never, never shall be slaves. We haven't. You're right there, mate. But oh my word, let's not even get started. In the name of religion, in the name of the king. Oh yeah, once more into the breach, dear friends, once more into the breach. We could talk for hours about this, couldn't we?
Creepy said, no problem, need me sleep anyways, lol.
You will do, mate. Anyway, take care. It's great that you bobbed in today, and of course, if you want to Sophia, do you want to just say a quick goodbye?
Thank you so much
I'll do my
for
bit.
everyone that's joined us today. If you have joined us in the background, thank you as well. Everyone that's joined us in the chat, thank you so much. Please don't forget to give us a thumbs like or a thumbs up. And please don't forget to put the notification bell on so you won't miss when we go live next time. And thank you all so much for joining us.
Lovely. Thank you, Sophia. And again, personal... sorry?
Creepy said never been beaten to a certain extent.
Never what, sorry?
Never been beaten to a certain extent.
Exactly. No, touche, mate. Totally agree.
Have a good night and have a good one.
And you, have a good night. Stay safe. And look after yourself, mate. And try and check that video out where we mentioned you and see what you think. It was very... the old proverbial tongue was in the cheek.
We will check your videos out as well.
We will. I'll look at those, mate. So again, Creepy joined us today. Thanks for joining us. Vegan Realist, obviously Kalal, thank you for joining us today. If you're still there, mate, hope you've enjoyed abreast of the show today. And if you joined us today from our anywhere from the UK or further afield, we say thank you for joining us today. Now remember, in the fashion that we talk about here at Elysium Sophia, stay safe and remember, you're special. You're an amazing person. You are what you are. And we hope that you can continue to be the best version of you that you can possibly be. And that means you'll be strong for the people who want you to be strong, need you to be strong. So please try and remember that. Taking words from the great Émile de Cour de Champagnard, in every day and every way I'm getting better and better, because you are. So when you pass a mirror, every time look in there and say, yeah, in every day and every way I'm getting better and better, or even better, just smile and say, I am me. I am amazing. I am amazing. I am me. Smile to yourself. Look the world in the eye and then move on. And try if you can, just give yourself 10 minutes. Beginning of the day, the end of the day, when it's suitable, to just do a bit of balloon breathing. Be true to yourself because no one else will. And then when you're true to yourself, you can be the best version of you and the strongest version of you that you can possibly be. And be the anchor for those people who need you most, especially at a time where COVID's out there. We need to be strong, we're fighting through it, and we're nearly at the end of the tunnel. So, as usual here, thank you for joining us at Elysium Sophia, at our home, where the lions slept tonight. And obviously, as usual, a big thank you, stay safe. Join us next time, put on the bell. Ding! Not like a court jester, don't wear it. Dink it. Come and join us. Thank you. And a namaste.